working too. I hope it's working. There it is, man. What's going on, world? Like I've said, I don't want to dwell on the issue, but it is a lingering thing when the mic isn't working. So um, I got it. The light is on here. As long as the light is on here, and as long as we have the light at the bottom for the thing that goes on the port, we're good. We're good. But anyways, yeah, man, it's the groundwork, man. I've been working on I've been focusing on the groundwork for stuff. Whether it's me rescheduling certain videos, reworking on the schedule, trying to figure out things that I can do on my day off. The time and whatnot. I mean, it feels like I have no time, but that's a lie. Realistically, I have all the time in the world. Whether that is to address people's text messages and text messages, DMs, whatever, man. Like calls and all that. But I'm like, man, I'd rather put the time. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. If you don't catch me on here, you might not catch me. You might not catch me. If you don't catch me here, you won't catch me. It's that simple. I'm gonna just be creating this, man. You know what I mean? I'm living for the views. I need as many as I can get. I need to stack in as many as I can. I need to create as much as I can and create the avenues that'll, guide people to the channel and whatnot. So, more or less, man, that's what it is, man. You're manifesting what you're channeling, right? You're channeling. That's what the channel is, right? A channel is it's in the words. When people say stuff like what is the word I'm looking for? When people say stuff like spelling, when you work on your spelling, the sequence and the cipher of how something is spelled is a spell in itself. You know what I mean? And therefore, when I'm working on the channel here, what is a channel? Channeling. It's just all memories. It's a library of something. It's a library of something nostalgic, if not some form of role-playing game that needed to be documented, or I felt it needed to be documented. If not a vlog about an activity, which would be not Pokemon, Beyblade. The Pokemon stuff pertains to the Pokemon gaming. It pertains to the packs being open. You know what I'm saying? It pertains to a lot of things, man. So I'm just over here enjoying myself, man. Just kind of, like I say, the sunshine is right here. I might have to sit at an angle just to truly channel the blue skies and whatnot. So maybe I'll adjust a little bit in a second to get the lighting right, because I might have to sit at a different angle to get the lighting here. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in a second, man. We'll see in a second, man. Do I have COVID? No, I ain't got no COVID, man. Not at all. Hold on, bro. Hold on. I gotta move these leaves. But yeah, there was kind of a what do you call this? I guess last night it rained a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. So it's a bit of a storm that kind of is passing right now. Man, let's look. You finally made it to the stream, King. What's going on, Cash? Oh, Cash, how you been, man? That's crazy. Hold on, let me see something. King Cash, so you changed the name and everything too? What's going on with the Twitch, man? Let me know what's going on with the Twitch. Also, let me know if you can hear me. Hopefully, let me know if the mic is good. If the mic is good or not. Good or no? Let me know if the mic is good. But yeah, man, it's really that's pretty much what's going on with the channel, man. You gotta figure out what it is I'm trying to focus on, or what it is I need to channel in that sense. And a lot of it is just positivity, if not a library or history of content, something nostalgic, if you will. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, Cash, I got you. YouTube updated itself, and now it shows, the @ I see what you're saying. It shows the @ rather than display name. Got you. The mic sounds great. That's all I need to hear. That's good to hear. It's good to hear, man. Yeah, I think actually, how was your holidays? How did your holidays go, man? On top of that, man, how did your holidays go? Mine was all right. It was pretty chill. I feel like I ate a good amount till we caught the itis. That was about it. We caught the itis. And yeah, it's good to see and hear from you, Cash. It's good to have you in the chat as always. I know it's been a minute. I don't know. Hopefully things are better on your end of life and all that. If you're available, bruh, come through. You know what I'm saying? Come through. You're on hiatus streaming, trying to focus on myself, oh yeah, got you. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. There's no need to be detailed. You see me trying to catch the rest of the sunset before you know that go. Holidays featured stomach flu. Oh wow, stomach flu that you got from work. Damn, dude. Yeah, funny enough, I am trying to pick up an extra shift for the weekends, possibly. I mean, it'll take away time from like Sundays and stuff, but that's fine. Like I put in enough time and effort in So the funny thing is, you would hope that people carry on the energy and effort that you apply, but it doesn't always work that way, and that's fine. You know what I mean? It's fine. I just got to live with oh, you can't even see the skies. Hold on, let me get out the shot. Can you see it now? I might have to go to the left. That's what I mean. I might have to go at an angle. But it was nice. I got money. I'm hoping to head out and treat myself this weekend or the next. I miss working on the holidays. That was one thing I was thinking about yesterday. That's one thing I thought about on Thanksgiving week. I think Thanksgiving week I only worked like 1 or 2 days, and sky's turning really bright blue. If I get out the shot here, watch. I'm gonna re-angle this so that way. No, you can't really see. It's because I'm too close to the camera. So if I like back up a little bit, if I cover it right here, you might see it. I don't know if you can really see it, bro. Oh, let me go to the right. Let me go to the left. Bam. Now you can't see shit. It's crazy. All right, let me go this way. If I go right here and I sit backwards, you can kind of see it. Ugh. See what I'm saying? If I get out the shot, you can see the blue. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna just stay out the shot a little bit. I'll be off to the side so that we can see the blue skies. Maybe I'll go to the right side, man. I don't even know. Yeah, working holiday was shockingly fun. Oh, what? And top coworkers had to play 2002 format. 2002 format Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm trying to think. Yeah, that was when I used. That's when I used to play. I think about it. Oh, hold on. Boom. It's like it's something about the lighting mixed with like if I'm just in the way. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's really interesting, man. It's really interesting. It's like I don't know, man. Like on the work weeks, on the holidays, I'm like, bro, I wish I had hours because like I miss getting that time and a half. I miss making that time and a half. I miss doing overtime when everything slows down. You know what I mean? It might honestly be the jacket. You might be right. Usually when I'm out of the shot, it just kind of fixes itself, which is kind of funny. But yeah, man. Hold on, man. Let me do a quick adjustment there. Let me see if this like if I hit the retouch, does that work? I don't think so. No, I don't think that works. I don't know if that works, man. What's going on, Marvin? Good to have you in. Hold on, bro. I gotta reposition the phone. The wind is also blowing at an angle. It is starting to set though. Sun is starting to set. Like watch. See, it might be the jacket. You're right. It might be the jacket. Might be the jacket. But yeah, man, that's crazy. I was trying to think the last time we spoke. I feel like it's been a minute. I mean, aside from like just reaching out to each other on Discord and whatnot, I just wonder how everything's been. But no pressure. We don't got to speak about it here, obviously. I just think like on my end too, it's been like trying to get as many work days as possible, but also trying to balance out, days like this where like I'm not working and I'm able to how do you say like I don't know, man, just balancing out work life basically, like work life balance and everything, man. Things like that. Give me a second. Make sure this is good. It just looks hella bright, don't it? It just looks hella bright back there, but it's not really that way. Damn. That's what I'm saying. That's really what it looks like. Yeah, you might be right, bro. It's the jacket. That's crazy. I don't know why it does that, to be honest with you. Doing a lot better, trying to focus on school, slacked off real hard, and I got you. Paying for it this week. Yeah, a lot of people have been going through that apparently. A lot of people have been going through we have one guy that's like I don't want to say he's one of our main organizers, but he does a lot on the organizing side. Like within our what do you call this? Within our like mini tournaments or just tournaments in general. He's a great organizer, I would say. Shout out to Skin if Skin drops in the chat or not. But yeah, he's been dealing with school too, and like it's funny, like he brought his laptop to one of the meetups, like just in case I really got to lock in on both blading and work, like we'll do either one, which is funny. Marvin, what's going on? Did you hear about the Category 5 Melissa starred? Okay. Oh, is it Category 5 hurricane or storm? Got you. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that was a weird autocorrect right there. No, I didn't hear about it. I don't pay attention to the news too much. I just been seeing like random like I'll get like random headlines for like war and missile stuff, and like I usually don't watch it just to keep my mind a little more clear. I'm going through my own shit, how that goes. So I just try to keep my mind a little clear from all that stuff. But man, stay safe out there, bro. Stay safe out there, Marvin. Be careful. It can be, it gets a little crazy. Um, I don't know. There's not much advice I can give simply because I've never lived out there. All right. Let me know if it's back. Let me know if it's back. My phone shut down for a second. That was kind of crazy. Let me know if we're back though. Damn. All right, guys. Let me know if it's back. That's crazy. We're back. Okay. I don't know. I was literally just looking at my phone, speaking, talking about the storm stuff, and then all of a sudden, it just shut down randomly. I don't know what it is. You know how it is with the trolls. It could be anybody. It could be anybody. It might just be the phone. Who knows? Actually, let me check the notifications, make sure there's nothing that's interrupting it. Doesn't show anything. It's a bunch of yeah. I think we're good. I don't know what that, to be honest with you. Phone be funky, man. Phone be funky, man. But even with all the good stuff, we love mobile data. Yeah, yeah. That's one side of it, right? And it's like slowly but surely, every day, every week, I try not to let certain things deter me. Just in general. I mean, I just stay focused. Really, it's like people be tripping it, like whether it's like someone at work or like someone I run into in public that just trips or tries to get me out of character or out of my focus zone or out of my workflow. You know what I mean? My workflow or just like my life flow, if you will. Like I look at that shit and I'm like, yeah, it has nothing to do with me. It has like what this person is dealing with or what that person's trying to project right now has nothing to do with me. And I feel the same way with the mobile data, with the phone and all that stuff. Like with this mobile data phone or just like weird whatever, you know what I mean? People hopping in and out chat, whenever it could be. I'm just like, yeah, this is just some funny shit. And I don't have to participate in these jokes. You know how that go, you know? But yeah, I want to come stop by TTV. Yep. I haven't forgotten y'all's kindness, so I got to come back. Oh, I read that right. I even got scared. Yep. Finally, just so I can square up. It's a good blade, honestly, man. It's a cheat code. I'll say that much. It's a cheat code. You know what I mean? It's a real good cheat code. I mean, there's we've been running like mini tourneys on the holidays and shit, or not holidays, but leading up to the holidays, and yeah, it was pretty fun, honestly. You said you will live stream in New Year's Day. I don't know. I don't make no promises, Ramses. I never make no promises, really. But if I have the time, I will do it. But I'm supposed to be spending. Oh shit! I'm supposed to be spending time with a friend. We'll see how everything plays out. I mean, if I'm just spending time with them, if I have time to pull out the phone, we'll see. Otherwise, I'll just be hanging out. You know? We'll see. I should, but it is whatever. Damn. Can't even lighten. There you go. Too windy out here. Ain't that a bitch? But yeah, let me go right here. Oh boy. There you go. Trying to get that shit lit, man. So fucking windy. Could be worse. But yeah, man. I think like even with Christmas, I thought, what I was thinking about? Was that yesterday? Yeah, yesterday was Christmas. But for the holidays, I'm like, man, I have access to certain spots as long as security officers and certain people let me in or they allow me in the building. And I thought about going to the university campus just to post up. You know what I mean? Maybe either what do you call this? Maybe either like run the duck simulator in the background. Just things that I usually do like on the weekends. If it's not the weekend, then it'll be like on holidays because I did that on Thanksgiving. And I was like, I was gonna do something, and then my dad was asking some questions. He was kind of asking me, he's asking some questions about what do you call this? Like, you guys want to get some food or something like that? I'm like, all right, fuck it. So we ended up just spending like time, like as a family, I guess you'd say, more or less, more or less, you know. Shit's not lighting though. Hold on, man. But yeah, that's mainly been the gist of what's been going on my end at least. You know. That shit is fucked up. Yeah, man. Perfect weather. I mean, I guess so. The lighter lit it on the wrong end. There we go. That'll work. I'll just keep it out here for now. Like the pin on the. Oh yeah, you see it? The what is this? Metal fingers. You already know, man. I keep the Doom hoodies. I keep the Doom socks, Doom shirts, Doom pin. You know, I learned about Doom when I was in fifth grade, or no, sorry, sixth grade. I was because it was '05 when Danger Doom came out, and I got my cousin bought me the album for Christmas. We didn't even know. None of us knew about him. We didn't even know what it was. You know, we just we were at like Walmart or some shit, and I was walking through Walmart with my cousin because we are gonna spend like Christmas Eve and Christmas Day with them at their house. And my cousin's like, "Yeah, if you want a CD, well, I'll buy you a CD. Just like look for one." And she wanted to get one for my brother and me. And I didn't know what choices I was gonna make. I was looking at them, and then my brother's like, "Yeah, people at my school have been telling me about what do you call this MF Doom, and they said he's a good lyricist or whatever, so you might like it." And then I looked at the album because I had the CD, right? I looked at the album, I flipped it over, I saw a bunch of like Adult Swim references, and I was like, you know what, man, I fuck with Adult Swim. Let me buy this album. And it was my first time being introduced to Doom, so I'm like, it's gonna take me some time to really get used to this, but I like it. You know, he's not like I know bullshit. Damn, I'm getting the sniffles. Yeah. What's your favorite Doom album, Cash? If you had to say, it's tough for me sometimes because it's like when I what was it when Born Like This first came out? When Born Like This came out, it was like 2009, so I was like a freshman, if not going into sophomore year when I bought the album. And I remember listening to it, and I was like, I still like Food a lot more. But then over time, I'm like, honestly though, Born Like This might be one of Doom's greatest albums because it's the darkest, but it's also like he got into some lyrical pockets that were pretty underrated, you know, to say the least. And yeah, man. Oh my bad, I missed out on that though. But big task, happy holidays too, bro. Hold on, I missed out on hella chat. To be honest, I'm over here like monitoring my surroundings. I'm a little chilly, and I'm like looking up and down and shit. I almost forgot to get the smoke right. I have not listened to a lot of Doom. I just know I fall back to Operation Doomsday when I'm in the mood for some rap. Got you. I mean, it's a good one, man. It was like his it's weird because it's almost like it's Doom's Illmatic in the sense that if you really look on YouTube on the archives, if you look for the demo version of any of those songs on that album, you'll find it. You'll find a radio version where he was on a radio station freestyling. You'll find a demo version where it's just him laying out the actual skeletal structure of it, and then it's just not like the complete version like the album sounds. So you can find shit that was been developed a year or two before the album actually came out for Operation Doomsday specifically, which is really interesting. On the other hand, Mad Villainy was all just freestyles that happened in the moment. So it's kind of crazy how those albums came about. But Operation Doomsday is something that was developed for a while. But obviously, you already know. I mean, you probably already know the history of Doom. It's like he was rapping with a KMD a long time ago, and then his brother died, and then he had a hiatus. But he took like a year off. But he really came back. He really came back and did a what do you call this? He was doing like open mics with a ski mask before he got the actual mask. So he was developing his style, like what it would be, like the alliteration and the rhyme pattern, triple entendre shit. It's just crazy. Yeah, there it is. Eddie Bauer. Yeah, I've had this jacket for a long time. Had this jacket for a minute. It was on sale a long time ago. And I was like, well, got to. Here it is. Yeah, man. I had this jacket for a minute, to be honest. Oh crap. My bad. Kid rolling past. We are blowing smoke. I gotta hit the hiatus. Yeah, man. So I don't know, like everyone has their different like whatever albums or something like that they're into. I would say Born Like This is a pretty good one. Um, or like I don't want to say classic, but to me it's a classic. You know, other people will tell you everything that came out between '03 to '05, like Doom. But yeah, I don't know. Arguably one of the greats for going there. You know, that's a whole nother conversation though. That's a whole nother conversation. You know, it depends what you're into, what you're looking for. I was telling my friend because I have a friend that does graffiti. You know, there's like four elements to hip hop, four main ones, but then the fifth one would be beatboxing. But one of them being graffiti. My friend, he participates in at least 3.5 elements. So I was like, he can't deny his hip hopness, if you will. You know, he breaks, he graffitis. That's his main two. Um, and he be freestyling, but he beatboxes a little bit. But you know, it's cool because I was telling him, like, I don't know if you heard the story where I was trying to tell my friend, I was like, I don't know if you heard the story about like when everybody found out MF Doom died like a couple years ago, and then everybody was doing the RIPS and shit. There's certain places around the world where like it's illegal to do graffiti to the point where you can do jail time or you can face like I don't want to say death, but like you know I don't want to say a death penalty, but like you can face jail time basically for just doing graffiti simply. Like it's places where it's very illegal like that to that degree. Um, and what I mean by jail time is like a heavy sentence, you know, not like the slap on the wrist that we kind of give out here. Um, but anyway, there were places like that that were throwing up murals for Doom when he passed away. That was the strength of his influence. So it's like he was the most underground influential kind of person, you know, like that. A lot of people, you know, when they say your favorite rapper, that's Doom pretty much. That's pretty much Doom. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not saying this to Cash necessarily, but just saying it to anyone who drops in and just listening, just hanging out. You know, I'll keep that in mind next time I deep dive. That's real interesting. I remember seeing some extra files for what I assume are the it's on. So there's like a deluxe version of one of the Operation Doomsdays, I think, and it has the instrumentals and it has the demos on there. You mentioned when I was searching for, yep, Flax of his stuff. Yeah, it's really interesting. And like the legend of him has been like it's been around there for a while. Like it's really funny. Also, if you listen to his other aliases, like if you listen to Victor Vaughn, so there's Victor Vaughn, there's MF Doom, and then there's like what's the other one? King Ghidorah. Like all three of those different aliases, and even the Mad Villain, all three and four of those aliases they'll diss the other alias. So like Victor Vaughn will diss Doom, and then Doom will diss Victor Vaughn and shit like that. It's hella funny. And it's like when you start really deep diving into the lyrics, you start looking into like his double entendres are they're related to that, but then it's also like Victor Vaughn disrespecting Doom, Doom disrespecting Vaughn, but it's also a comic book reference, and then the references are actually in the samples. Like it's a whole, it's a very deep collage of his music that goes over people's heads. Also, if you look up, I forget the name of the beat, but he has a beat where he samples Dragon Ball Z from the VHS. Because back in like the 90s, there's a thing where if you had a VHS player, you can run certain cables and ground cables to the back of the VHS player that could connect with the sound. If not, you have something that, you know, AV cables outwards, and then you ground the cables to the AV cable thingy, the connector, and then you take the samples from that, load it onto like some kind of DAT machine, if not a drum machine. And then he was basically sampling Dragon Ball Z, the Japanese dub. And the reason why I know this is because if you watch the Japanese dub, there's a specific beat that plays when shit is getting tragic or they're like kind of confused or whatever. And like they found like a little piece of it, he sampled it and made a beat out of it. If you just look up MF Doom Dragon Ball Z sample, it's hilarious because you really took that small that small piece, and it was like there was no vinyls of this sample. You know what I mean? There was no vinyls of the sample, so it's like where did you get it from? It was people that actually know how to sample straight from VHS. It's fucking crazy. It's a whole that's the shit that they were doing though, because he was sampling Hanna-Barbera cartoons. You know what I'm saying? Yogi the Bear type shit, Scooby Doo type shit. He was doing that. That's a whole nother. Yeah. In Singapore, they'll give you the famous cane for graffiti. Yeah, something like that. It's something like that. There's certain places, his sample choices, they're super fun. Yeah, it's really interesting. And there was one where I didn't realize it, but it was like some dude in the back country, the backwoods, talking about, and then it was that, and then like a science commercial talking about eating edible wrappers. Get out of here with that. Cut that out. Cut that out. I don't know if you heard the crow, but there's one where it's like he'll talk about it'll be like, yeah, the edible wrappers, if you cook them this way, if you do them that way. And he's basically talking about eating wrappers and battling them and shit. That's pretty much what the sample was saying, but he flipped it. It's just funny. It's just funny shit like that. Yeah. So RIP to Doom. Crows be listening, man. Crows be listening. That's the thing. But I've been accidentally speaking with crows since like a freshman year, and like I just accidentally fed them blueberry muffins, and ever since then they always remember me, which is like apparently a thing that someone had to explain to me. It's like, yeah, these crows in the neighborhood, they'll remember you because you've always been feeding them. I was like, that makes sense actually, because that's why I get followed by them all the time. The big monologue of that actual Doctor Doom. Yeah, there was one where it was because it's Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four, or Spider-Man and friends, and they battle Doctor Doom. So he samples a lot from that cartoon. And there's one where the scientist goes, "Hey, get a good grip on my," and then like he samples a space. Like how do I explain this? Like a time warp. He's like, "Get a good grip on my," and that's all like on food. So like he does like the little spicing shit. It's just I just be remembering this shit. I might have to go home and listen to some Doom now that you brought it up. But yeah, man, that fucked me up. I was at work reading that shit, and I found he'd passed. I was like, "Damn, what?" I thought it was a joke, and the reason why I thought it was a joke is because Doom does that thing where he'll send the Doom posters to perform at a show instead of himself. That shit, that was like, bruh, he better not be pulling some shit. He's a villain though. That's the whole point. He's a villain to the industry. You know, that's why he does that shit. I remember when MF Doom sampled Sade, "Couldn't Love You More." Yeah, that was I think he sampled Sade twice. So I'm thinking of like is either Doomsday the song. There's probably another one where he sampled Sade. I'm pretty sure. But there's the funniest explanation was like they're like why it's like, why were you like people who actually knew him are like, dude, why are you doing a disservice to your fans and sending a Doom poster to perform as you at your shows and lip sync? He said, well, here's the thing, right? If I'm like, let's like Doom was like, if my price to perform is 50,000, right? $50,000, and then you say, hey, I can give you 25. I'm not gonna not take the money, but you get what you asked for. So it's kind of a funny way where it's like, if I told you $50,000 and you want to short me and give me 25, sure, you'll get a $25,000 performance, but you won't get the $50,000 one, which is me. So it's a funny like shot at like the industry and people who try to short you, like, hey man, yeah, we'll give you this much. I know you're asking for this much, but we'll give you this much. If you don't respect what I'm asking for, you'll get what I give you. And he still took the money, which is funny. Adult Swim gave him money for free, and he just ran off with it. He just robbed them. And they're like, "Hey, how come Doom never finished the album?" And people are like, "Maybe it's the health problems." Well, it doesn't matter. He just took the money and ran. If you give him the money up front, he'll just take the money and run. It's the funniest shit ever. Doom always takes the money, and if you listen to his lyrics, he always takes the money. That's all he talks about. The funniest shit. It's the funniest shit. So I think like Talib Kweli was asking him a question like, "Dude, why are you sending Doom posters? Like, why? That's kind of wrong to your fans." He says, yeah, it is wrong to the fans, but the venues, I'm telling you, the venues. If I'm asking for my amount and they're telling me it will give you less than my amount, you get what you asked for. At least you asked for something. At least I get what I got. And he just runs off on the plug. Shit is the funniest shit. That shit is funny. And I wonder how much he hired the Doom poster for, man. But it's a hustle. There's also, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Count Bass D. Count Bass D is one of my favorite producers, but he raps too. And like this dude, on if you listen to Act Your Waist Size by Count Bass D, it's a good album, like 20 tracks or some shit. Um, that shit, like he says, the Honorable MF Doom told us doing shows with 2 zeros is a no-no. He said shit like that, and I was like, oh yeah, that's Doom telling people like if it's anything less than 4 figures, don't fuck with it. So Doom has been teaching people how to make money since forever. You know, he had the cheat code though, because the whole thing was like you tune into the mystery, and you don't care about what his face or the gear that he's wearing. You don't care about the expensive clothes and the chain. You just look at the mask. You don't know who his face is, and you're so in tune with the lyrics. That's like everything was a double triple entendre to the industry. That's just crazy. If there's like if you had to do like a Mount Rushmore for like underground shit, like Doom is probably on that Mount Rushmore, bro. That shit is kind of crazy to think about. The more I think about it, it's super impressive how much you know of MF Doom. That's what I'm saying. I've been listening to Doom since '05. I just been listening to the music, and like when he would create these hiatuses where he wouldn't do music, like people would just randomly tell me shit. Like you heard about this shit happening with the shows, you heard about this, you heard about that. So all of us growing up listened to MF Doom. There was like a small group of us. It's funny because everyone does now because he passed away and everybody learned about the legend of Doom. But growing up, we knew all of this shit, and then we started uncovering more of like his childhood because of like podcasts talking about his life after he died. It was like, you know, really interesting stuff. And it also is a weird thing because in the 2000 was like, if you told someone you had a favorite artist, like an adult or someone else would ask you why, and you like it's almost like with Doom, if you didn't like lyrics, you would almost have to explain why you liked it, and there was so much explanation behind them. Everyone else, it was just kind of like with Jay-Z, it was like, oh yeah, he's a hustler, and it was like point proven by everybody in New York. They're like, yeah, he was really out there hustling. DMX, it was like, oh yeah, he was really out there robbing people. Like that's how he made his money. DMX had a principle where he's like, he's not with selling crack to anyone. He doesn't sell drugs to anyone, but he'll rob you and sell your shit back. So that was DMX's whole thing, and he lived up to the hype. All the other rappers and everyone around New York was like, yeah, that's really who he is. So I don't know, like you don't get much lore with certain artists anymore. And then on top of that, the lore that you do get with the more recent artists is just like a lot of ignorance is documented, and it's just like, why would you document the ignorance? There should be people who vet it, but you can't prove it based off, survey. Does that make sense? Like people literally have footage of them doing illegal shit. You're not supposed to have evidence of illegal shit. You're supposed to just have the infamy and the lore of it. Hopefully true and not false, right? But a lot of people don't understand that aspect of the. Yeah, that's a whole nother. Damn. Shit's blowing. All right. Wind is blowing my phone, man. The wind is blowing hard. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, man. And I guess a lot of it doesn't always sometimes you just want the music, so when you have like guys on the underground, or if you have guys that are like what do you call this, local or underground, there's something about the music that has to hit you before anything, because I've listened to some shit that is literally like I don't like the beat, and it's just all bars, so then it's no longer music at that point, you know what I mean? But you could just find that if you just go down the street and find somebody freestyling, you could just find that, you know what I mean? Because some shit be better without a beat. Some people acapella be real nice. No disrespect to the music they're making. People probably feel that way about my shit, and that's fine. But it's just like there's something about the music that catches people. Just in general. Yeah. That shit is out. What the fuck? That shit is out. Yeah, man. There's nothing I could do about it. But yeah. But I got the sniffles out here, man. That's how cold and freezing it's been getting. Shit, what am I looking for? Yeah, that J was good. There we go. Give me a second. I'm about to wipe my nose off. But yep, that's I don't know. That's the doom and the music conversation in a nutshell. I think in general too, though, I just been, you know, staying motivated with shit. Like every now and again, I guess I need to make more happen. Hold on. Yeah, I'm like freezing. I remember running into a few women who were crazy Cormega fans. Couldn't believe. Yeah, that's the other interesting thing is like, I remember I think I took this. Maybe I shouldn't have been surprised, but there's this one like white girl that I kind of would take out for coffee and like food every now and again, and we never really did anything because I think she was that into me. I feel like she was just hanging out for like to just hang out, but maybe she was just too shy. Who the fuck knows? But I just kind of broke it off. But when I would spend time with her, she knew about all like a lot of hip hop shit, and she was really into hip hop. And it was just like I'm not surprised because she does like movement related stuff. Like when I say movement, like civil rights related stuff, and what do you call this, like union workers type of shit. She's into that, and so she talked to me a lot about like Lords of the Underground and like the Soulquarians and shit like that. Like you just run into people every now and again that just be knowing about shit, and then randomly they'll just, because of the association of hip hop, they just were really into like a certain, like if it wasn't Cormega, it'd be like AZ, right? It'd be like some deep cut shit. It'd be like some like if you're into a girl that knows about like, was it Safari, whatever, that the dude Sapphire, whatever his name is, at the Bay Area, like just shit like that. It'd be some deep cut stuff. You know what I mean? Some deep cut stuff. and it's really cool. I don't know. It's like it's really cool when you run into people like that. Um, Also, it's cool like when they start teaching you about it. You know, I just there's sometimes I run into a couple old heads, and it's like they be like, you know about this, you know about that, and I'm like, just hey man, just teach me about it. Just tell me, and I let them tell me about like a certain artist, or I let them show me a song, and you know, I sit there and I get schooled by it, and I like that. I like those moments where I'm just getting schooled by just learning about music. You know, just learning about music and the history behind it and stuff like that. Where I started to draw the line was because I knew a couple of people who felt like their position as someone who experienced and lived through a level of hip hop, like whether it be the 80s or 90s or whatever, there's people who feel really entitled to always have the conversation. So I knew a dude, he was just real like annoying, but he was like, he had participated in the industry before, and then he had a good, what's the word I'm looking for? He had a good grasp on like the good, the bad, and the ugly of the music industry and hip hop in particular. But he never got too far because, you know, as you speak to him, you realize he likes certain things, but he hates on certain things. So he didn't have like a love for the whole aspect or the whole element, if that makes sense. You know, he was hating on, either he would hate on the evolution of the later generations of hip hop, he would understand the money and and that aspect of it, like the business side of it, because he was working within the business side of it. You know, he's working the business side of it. He's worked within the art side of it, where just people were just all underground, writing in each other's black books, hitting up walls. Everybody's breakdown. Like he was around the core of it, but then he had a hate because it's like you'll find different people like in different generations that they have like a hate, and it's usually people who kind of just stick to boom bap. The boom bappers will kind of hate like the newer stuff or the evolution of the music and how it sounds. Because like even, you know, I'm not just saying this because Takeoff is dead, but like Takeoff was the most lyrical like trap rapper with all this new flow, the way people flow now. Takeoff was like the most lyrical of those like the trap rappers and that kind of flow. But the other thing about it was like because he was part of the Migos, you just think about the Migos flow. But it's just like, yeah, he was a part of that too. He was in the group. But it's like small things like that that people can't look over, they don't fuck with. And it's just like, yeah, I draw the line here. When the shit started to sound like this, when they started talking about that, I was like, they were talking about drugs and drug dealing with Eric B and Rakim. They talked about hustling back then. They talked about it with fucking Cool G Rap. Like they talked about it with that's, you know, like, but it's just like there's a different forms of it, and it's going to look and sound different type of ways. You know what I'm saying? But people just be hating on the evolution of it. And I say this all the time, where it's like the reason why I'm kind of passionate about talking about this is because I get annoyed with like older heads who have the knowledge to teach me, but then they're so negative, and it's like I don't want this person to be a teacher, or I don't want to be this person. I don't want to be this to be the person that's imparting the wisdom on me, because now I'm going to be internalizing a bit of negativity there, right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? So it's really tricky, man. It's like I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but I say all that to say like, yeah, it's like it's a weird divide, and the funny thing about it is when hip hop started, and when hip hop started getting more popular from the 80s to the 90s, there was a generation of older people that were hating on that too. You know what I'm saying? There was a there, like young, like when those old heads were younger, they had people older than them, which would be like the grandpa's generation. Those people were hating on their music, and then there was people hating on their music. So it's like they're that's why I don't really fault them. I'm not really mad at them because they had people their whole lives hating on what they do. Like their whole lives, like, why are you kids skateboarding? Why are you kids listening to this type of rock? Why are you guys listening to this type of hippity hop? What kind of rap shit is this? What is this G funk? Like, you know, like every generation goes through like, just what are you listening to? What are you listening to? And like I never want to be around young people and go like, what are you listening to? If I'm gonna say what are you listening to, I'm gonna be genuinely curious. I want to know what, you know, younger people are listening to, because I have an actual like, hey man, what's the shit that's fire right now? I'm like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. You know, I'll be listening to it with like open ears. I ain't trying to be hating on shit, because it's like a pattern, bro. It's like a cycle of older generations hating on the new ones. And it's just like, we keep doing that, you know, we're just going to keep being hateful and shit. I don't like that shit. But we can't be hateful through the guise of music, you know? There has to be some level of, not necessarily acceptance. Acceptance isn't what I'm looking for, but a level of just understanding, like, okay, I understand why it is this way. I understand why G-Funk became what it was. I mean, you think about the generations that happened before that went down in Southern Cali, bro, then people was going through some shit. And then it just ended up translating through the music. You know what I'm saying? The vernacular of how them West Coast people were talking ended up trickling down. New York was the same thing. The vernacular of like New York slang being a combination of like, you know, the people from down south migrating up north, and then also like a little bit of lingo coming from people from the army coming back home. So you had a combination of just different lingos mixing together and just coagulating in New York. Man, all them fucking back streets, all them buildings, people just talking the riff rap, and then you mix it with Spanish, some other shit, whatever other languages were there. You know what I'm saying? It's just shit like that, man. It's just like that's a beautiful thing, but the underlying issue, like when they say the devil's in the details, bro, that should be real because the devil's in the details, like behind the scenes of all of this, early '80s, mid '80s hip hop shit that's really uplifting and upbeat. It's like behind the scenes, you had some very hateful, you had some very, traumatic stuff happening to certain people. Like kids were being violated, women were being violated, households had addicts in them. You know what I'm saying? Not like an addict like above, but ADDICTS, like just drug addicts. You had drug addicts in households. Like certain things were just normal behind the scenes of like a very bright and uplifting music. So I don't know. It's just like one of them things where it's like when you start hearing negative shit, it's just like, yeah, you just need to see the humanity in this individual. Like older people will hate on Playboy Cardi. Playboy Cardi literally said in Die Lit, he's like, some he hates that mumbling shit. He said bought a house, made a meal off that mumbling shit. So it's just like, it's like that's the whole thing behind it. Is like who cares how you feel about the music? People are spending their money on it, and people are able to pay and take care of family finally. Like this whole back to the business side of it, there's like multiple families that get paid off of one artist sometimes, depending on how big that artist is. It's bigger than how you feel about the shit, you know. But I don't know. That's a whole other conversation. Like you got to really look into, it's nice. I mean, obviously being in Seattle, being on the West Coast, you run into people who are in and out the industry every now and again, and some people bullshit and some people pretend to be more than who they are. But again, back to the devil's in the details. You look into the details of it, and you're like, okay, I'm taking game from this, I'm taking information from that. I get it. Okay, I'm gonna run with this, I'm gonna run with that. It's really cool, man. I don't know, it's really cool. It's just history shit, bro. It's just really just history shit. It's like, and I wouldn't even say like I have to stay away from them. I hear what you're saying. I think if you want to hold on to a sense of peace, or like for example, let's say you have your mind made up on a certain goal. If your mind's made up on a certain goal, you're going down a linear type of path. I would say like stay away from certain people, or just stay to yourself. Just stay on the path, if you will. But a lot of times I don't want to say I invite the ignorance, but like I do a little bit, because I'm like, I invite the ignorance, I invite the arrogance, because again, within the details, you can learn something. You know what I mean? You can even start to recognize signs that I might not even like or mess with. I just look into shit. I'm like, okay, that's a really interesting piece of information. It was presented in a very negative way. I can overlook that because I have the threshold, I have the whatever, the wherewithal to not deal with somebody's bullshit. Like I know how to balance my shit with someone else's bullshit, but I'm able to take some information from it. So, you can look at it two different ways. It's like you're using people for information. That sounds messed up because it's like you're using people, but at the same time, it's like at the end of the day, if there's someone you're conversating with, and at the end of the day, they would use you, or they would use you for like a get to know stuff, or they use you as like a platform to get to know things too. It's somewhat transactional. Like I don't want to. I'm not trying to justify, um, like I don't want to say like being fake friends to people, but sometimes like honestly, just like when you pass by people day to day and say good morning and say hello and shit like that, that's just as fake as like trying to get information from someone who has information, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like a tour, like if you go to a museum, dog, you go out of town and you have a tour guide, if you whether you're hiring the tour guide or you're going to meet up to a place where they have a tour guide, you're not pretending to be that person's friend, but it is a transactional thing where it's like, I'm here for the tour, you're here to guide us and teach us what the tour is about, if that makes sense. And that's the same shit with people. Whether you're walking down the street, you meet them, or they just happen to have information, or they're your coworker or whatever. It's all just information, bro. Like you don't have to pretend to be you don't have to pretend to be these people's friends, but conversation be everything, bro. Conversation will sit there and shit, give you some game, That's it. I'm gonna start slowly walking back to the house though. Slowly. Hold on, let me get something to drink. My bad for the rambling. I'm really just killing time, to be honest with you. I'm really just killing the time, You see them birds? Yeah. The birds don't sing, man. Man, my damn, that's fucked up. My homie's mom passed away like I don't even know how many years ago. I think he said a year and a half or 2 years ago. And I remember earlier this year when the Clips album dropped, I was listening to it, and track one is "The Birds Don't Sing." That shit fucked me up. I was like, damn, man, this is a song about the dead mom and the dead dad, and the family that passed away. So I was like, yeah, this is some heartfelt shit. And then like I realized that album was like July. So was it July? Maybe I'm doing the math wrong. I don't think it was July. I'm lying. It was earlier though. And I remember sharing that song because they had a music video for it, and I shared it with my friend whose mom passed. I was like, man, my bad, I forgot to share this song with you, and he was like, damn. And I was like, yeah, I've been having this album on repeat since it came out. He said, honestly, I might have this song on repeat since that ever since I showed it to him, which was like a couple nights ago. I think he's gonna have that song on repeat now too, which is like there's some heartfelt shit, man. If you've ever lost somebody, especially like a parent or like a grandparent, I guess for some people that hurts too. Um, you know, that's one of them songs, man. That's one of them ones. What's going on, Fish? Yeah, buddy. I'm about to get across the street right here. We gotta get run over, bro. But yeah, that's one of them ones, man. Song wise and everything. Can't wait to get back there, man. But so yeah. And then car go past. Alright. Yeah, the battery getting low too. That's all good because I need to just go home and just focus on this damn this gaming a little bit. Get that down pat, you know. Was Christmas okay? Christmas was pretty good actually. You know, it was in the morning my dad was like asking us if we wanted to get Chinese food, but I actually took him to the lobster roll place instead. And then funny enough, he still wanted to take some Chinese takeout. So I was like, all right. But it's funny because we were kind of just walking around in the rain, and then he was like, we're trying to go to the grocery store to grab some shit, and that shit was shut down. I was like, damn, this shit closed for Christmas. We tried to go to another restaurant to get some like chicken or something. They were shut down. I was like, bro, everything's shut down today. And we found a couple of restaurants that were still open, so we just decided to go there. But yeah, it was kind of rainy, but we just stayed indoors. We just watched the games, you know, basketball games mainly, and then ate some food. It was real chill, man. Real chill. You know? That's another thing too, man. I think earlier, I don't know if you were here in the chat task, but there was one a couple of nights ago where I was pretty much talking about how I don't know, I was sitting down on like one of the little trolleys. I just sat there for a little bit, and then randomly I got hit with a little memory. I was like, damn, man, it's another Christmas without my mom. So I just started thinking about that shit. And I was like, you know what, man, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know? Yeah, man. I appreciate you asking, man. How was your holidays too? How was everyone else's holidays? You know, I'm not like I'm not big on the, I don't know what you call this, like the festivities, if you will. But I don't know, man. It's a day off, right? It's a day off. It's a day to either get paid time and a half or it's a day off. It's one or the other for me. That's how that usually goes. Let me switch hands. I'm trying to hold it a certain way so I don't mess up the mic. I also got to go home and piss, bro. I've been hydrating a lot. Low key, I'm overhydrated. But yeah, do you remember you talking about mom? Yeah. All Thanksgiving time, yeah. And you know that's the thing about it too, is like whenever the holidays creep up, I just think like it's another one of those holidays where we just won't spend time with her, which is crazy. You know, it's like a weird. After the first year, you get used to it, but it's still like it's that weird lingering feeling. So, but I can only imagine that's probably how my dad felt when his mom passed, and then so on and so on. You know, the more keep going down the line, that's probably how every generation felt when they lost a parent, and it's just my turn to go through it. Most people don't lose their parents until they're in their 40s or 50s, and you know, I lost mine young, so it's just kind of a weird feeling. Christmas was pretty good for me. A lot of food, yeah, man. It's good, man. You got to get the food in. Got to get the food in. Listen, man, I might cut it right here, though. I ain't gonna lie to you, because I might have to hit the bathroom and then also just run home at this point, man. But there it is, y'all. I'm gonna end it right here real quick. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace. I'm out.